get data from say access database. To get the data from the database, we need to create a connection as what we did in MS Access. The same thing. First of all, we need to give a reference to the uh, ADO, to use ADO as our uh, connection. It is available in Microsoft ActiveX Data Objects 2. If you find 2.8 library, then use 2.8. That is the latest drivers for ADOs. Dim ocon as ADODB dot connection. Okay, we need a connection as well as record set. Dim or as ADODB dot record set. Record set. Okay, we declared this one. Then in Excel we may need a array to capture the data. I'm declaring as variant. Variant can hold any kind of data. Then we'll declare few more things. Dim S connection, then SQL for the query, then what else we need? We need the database path. All these three as string. Declaration part is over. Now we need to assign the values to these variables. First, let us start with the path. Database. From which database? We'll take this project tracking tool, otherwise EMP data. EMP data. Is the TMP data? Okay, we'll take one of the table from EMP data, but it doesn't look good to me. Okay, okay, we'll take employees, EMP personal details, doesn't have much. Okay, we'll take project tracking tool only. Timelines is not there. Okay, we'll go with the employees. This is the path. strdb path is a string, so we should use double quotes to assign that value. And name of the database, employees dot accdb employees dot accdb. So one variable is done. Second is SSQL will pass the query to the database. Okay. Simple table will use city. Select star from city. Sometimes you will find that there is some table names will have space like this. This is the one example. It is having space between the table name. So in that case, what you should do is if you call the table like this, then it is not going to appear or it's going to throw an error. So use square bracket. But in our case, we don't need because it doesn't have any space between the table name. But in case if there is a space in the table name, then you should do like this. You should use square brackets. Okay, then we'll set connection. Set O connection is equal to new ADODB dot connection. Then we'll open the connection but before opening we did not set the provider. Okay, o connection dot open what we declared as connection. So we need to declare one more thing, that is as connection. As connection holds the provider information, driver information. Driver is provider is equal to Microsoft dot ace, because it's a ACCDB file dot OLEDB dot 12.0. Then we should concatenate with the path, strdb path. Okay, because we have a variable which holds the file name as well as the location of the MS access. It's easy to define this way, so that if we have to change, we can change, or we can make it globalize if needed. Then ampersand, close this. Okay, now these three are over. Okay, and connection is done. Now record set. Set ORS is equal to new ADODB dot record set. Then we need to open the record set. We need to pass the query to which table we want to open. It is SSQL, comma O connection, comma we need a static connection, and we need a optimistic log. Let's see, we we are going to get in bulk, so we'll use batch optimistic. And we are passing the query, so we use ADCMD text. Now we need the data in our Excel. For that, we have declared a variant. Data array is equal to ORS dot, ORS is the record set, get rows is the method. Now we got all the record set in the data array. Now we need to pass this rows to the Excel. So we'll take a new sheet, get data, So we'll get the data in this sheet. Sheets of get data dot range of A1 to, let us take, we don't know how many rows are there, so we'll take B, but we know there are only two columns. Right? There are only two columns in 3 rows. B3 dot value is equal to application dot worksheet function dot transpose, and pass what we have, where we have collected. Okay, so this is done. Then we'll close the connection and also connection dot close. Then also both are closed. Then set ORS is equal to nothing. Set OCon is equal to nothing to release the memory. So let us try here. Sign macro and get data from MS Access DB. Authentication failed. Is there a password? No. Authentication failed. Provide is connection. Provided is equal to Microsoft dot ace dot oledb dot 12 dot 0, then percent. Oh, got it. We forgot to mention data source here. Data source equal to this strdb path. This is the data source. Now we got data. What will happen if we don't use transpose? Transpose is a method in Excel. Let me show you here. Copy and let me paste it here. Go to paste special, transpose. Do you see what transpose does? It converts the columns into rows, rows into columns. So that is the reason why I'm using the transpose. Let us see if we don't use transpose, how the data is going to uh, come from the database. You see how data came? So that is the reason why I'm using the transpose. We have already done this in MS Access. The same way we are doing. The only difference is we are capturing the rows into an array. Just we are using arrays to capture the data, and we are passing that array to the range. That is the only difference between MS Access and Excel. In MS Access, we use tables row by row, records by records. Here we need to complete. We have the option of completely putting all the rows into array, and we can directly put it on the Excel. This is fast. Give me a second. Okay. So usually we have to do like this, but if at all you have to do it in a different way, I'll copy the whole thing. Just I don't want to write it again and again, and I'll take another one.
Irfan, I had some questions from Irfan.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
First, I didn't understand what is O connection and S connection. Like, why are we creating O connection and then what is S connection?
So how will connect to the database?
That is one. Okay, like O connection is fine. Then what is S connection?
S connection, we are declaring a local, just we are passing it. We are passing, where is it? S connection. Just we are using it for passing the provider information and database path to it. Without declaring this also we can go. Just directly we can put everything here. We can just remove this and we can directly put everything here, but it will be too long, right?
Right.
This line plus this line
Yes.
is S connection, but it will go all the way to the end.
Okay. And like we wrote the SQL command also here. So like is this the only way to get the table or to get the rows, or can we like write something in macro as well?
This is a macro.
Okay, so like we have to declare SQL command only here.
Yeah, SQL command is needed to fetch the data.
Okay. And like we specified the range A1 to B3. So we have, like, suppose it's a big file, so we have to specify the whole range, or if we just specify the first like cell from where it should be like pasted or put down, it will not take that way.
See, in that case, what you have to do is, I'll copy this sheet, this line. Instead of three, you don't know the last row.
True. Mhm.
So we have an option of concatenating, right? Ampersand ORS dot record count means number of rows.
Okay.
So,
And the file like which we bought, the headings were not coming. Only the
no, here we are connecting to the tables. We don't get even in MS Access. We don't get.
okay, so we have to write them.
Yeah,
Like we have to earlier maybe create a table and then put the data.
right, predefined.
And suppose if we wanted like all the files of the employees database to get, can we do it like in one command?
You mean all the tables?
Yes.
No. In that,
Oh, so for each table we have to like again we have to put each separate table's name.
so copy this. This is the way. This is where we are mentioning the table name, right? This one.
Yes.
Just mention it here by val.
You're right. And then for each table we have to mention that. And we have to mention in which sheet we need to copy that.
All right.
Okay.
So anyone else having any questions? Okay. So I copied the same thing here and I'll name it here ADO. So suppose if we don't want like this, if we don't want to get in a array, we want same thing like uh, record set dot fields of in that format, right? We can get in this way also. Range of a1 dot value is equal to fields of what is the first field in ID. I'll copy the same thing and make changes here. B1 dot value, actually we'll take it as 2 and we'll define headers there. B2 dot value is equal to city. So this is how we used to do in MS Access, right? We assign the text box dot value is equal to field dot value. So let us try to run this. What will happen here? This is ID and this is city. A2 and B2. ORS dot record count is greater than 0, then it should pull the data. Now let us run from here. Oh, we have to change the name. We cannot have the same name. Okay, we got only one row. To get multiple rows, what we can do? We can write a loop, right? For I is equal to, it starts from 1 to record count. Next. But here, instead of 2, ampersand I, so that we can increase the value cell number. Now let us run. What happened? 3 times, there are 3 rows, but 3 times it bought the same value. So what is wrong we are doing here?
You should do it I plus 1.
No. We are not moving the record set to the next row. That is ORS dot move next. But what will happen is when it reaches the last row, it's going to raise an error. So for that, if not ORS dot end of file, EOF means end of file, then move the record set. Now let us try this.
You haven't ended the if.
If, because we are using a single statement, right? when we give the if statement in this condition, in this manner, then we have to use end if here. Otherwise we don't have to. Here we are starting with 1, so uh, it is going to override the headers. So id cd, the header. So we need to skip the first row. It should start with the second. So we need to add 1 to the I, so that whatever is the value of I, it makes it plus 1. So in the first loop, it takes as I is equal to 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So A1 will be, instead of A1, it will be A2. And same thing with the B2. Now let us execute this command. So now we got all the rows. So either you can do this way or the other way, which we saw earlier. What is here? Is there any questions? So I believe now you can get data from any database, right? By changing the provider. By changing the provider, you can get data from almost any database.
Irfan, I want you to explain that line where the ad lock batch optimistic is written. When is this option used? Yeah, this one.
We already know there are 4 cursors and 4 logs, right? And that is an interview question. You guys forgot so easily? This is an interview question, and both the things they may ask about the ADOs. There are 4 cursors, like right. Yeah, I don't know in which file it is, but there are 4 cursors. One is dynamic, read only, static, and key set. Now at least can you tell me the differences? What dynamic cursor do? Dynamic cursor shows all the rows which are even deleted by other users, which are edited by other users, updated by other users. It shows everything. That is dynamic cursor. What is static cursor? It just fetch the snapshot. It's like a snapshot, like how you take a picture in a camera. Just whatever at that time when you click, whatever you see, it is captured in the camera. The same way here also, whatever may be the record sets, whatever may be the rows available, it takes a snapshot of it and it displays. If the rows are changed, are deleted, or added, you won't be able to see in this connection. and forward only, it moves only to the next record. It keeps in the forward direction. We cannot go back. Remember now?
Yeah, got it.
No, but it's a interview question. You guys have to by heart all this. Any other question in this? While opening the record set, we need to call the SQL statement. Instead of calling each variable, we can directly put these values here. But the thing is, uh, if you make a mistake, then you won't be able to find out easily. When everything is together, then you won't be able to easily find out what is here. And it's a it's a professional way to declare things. If we have to make the change, then directly we can make a change here, and we can make it as a global variable, and we can share that variable. So this is about uh, getting the data from a database. To send the database, again we can use this same method what we used in the second time. The same way we can send the data, just we need to, what we have to do, record set dot add new. Right? We have already done this in MS Access. Good. We use the current database, but if we have used any other thing, no. But I remember that we have connected to the SQL server, and we need to use the record.addNew method and record.update method. Do you want me to show that again here in Excel? I don't mind. You guys want? Good with it.
You can show it again.
Okay. We'll name it as insert into Access DB. So all these things, this will remain as is. We don't have to change anything. The only thing we have to change is here. Okay. Before that, let us try. We don't need to check whether records are there or not. Okay, we'll remove that. So what we need to do, ORS, and that too, we have to change here also how many rows are there. We have to send this to the MS Access. So we need to know the rows, how many rows. We'll upload this one. So we need to know the how many rows are there in Excel. For now, let us say we want to transfer 100. We'll replace it. Okay. Then we will take the values from here and we'll send it here. We'll set it for the field 1 and field 2 and so on. And we don't have to move the record set, so we'll remove that. We need to update after every record, and we need to add new with every record for every record. Right, this is how we assign the value for a add new record, right? uh, I'll delete the table or I'll change this table here. I put a X before the city so that we can add a new table. So before going into record set, we need to select the sheet from where we need to pass the data. I'll take a new sheet, send data. Here we'll have a ID column and city. Okay. Uh, can you guys tell me some city names? Okay, for sending the database also we need the same thing declaration. Just we need to change is here. In a loop, we need to add and update the record set, and we are passing the value for each field. Rest of the things we'll see later. Let us try this. Cannot find the input table or query city. Make sure it exists. Right. We change the name of the table. X city. But already 1, 2, 3 is there, so we'll have to change this IDs. We'll start from 4, 5, 6. Number of rows with pending changes exceeded the limit. What is wrong here? Let us use it default in that case. Current record set does not support updating. This may be a limitation of the provider or of the selected log type. Okay. So here we need to make changes. Okay, this is not batch. We need to use optimistic or pessimistic, and open static no. Let us try this. Try to assign the null value to a variable that is not a variant data type. Okay, so we have only 6 rows, right? 8. But we need to check the table. Maybe already data is already here, so we'll remove this and we'll insert again. The null value for which one? 8 plus 1 is 9. Okay, so we assign one extra, that's why. But in the real time we cannot hard code this. We need to find the last row. And that is one of the important thing, that we should find the last row. Okay, now this time there is no error, so it has been added without any error. But the thing is, we need to specify the last row. We need to specify the last row, as well as we need to select the sheet here. We did not select the sheet here, but still it has gone because this sheet was open. Otherwise, whichever is open, it's going to read from that. So that is one error here. So sheets of name of the sheet dot select send data, and the last thing is we need to get the last row. There are different ways to get the last row, and sometimes that whatever the built-in functions are there, that may not work. It happened several times that the built-in functions did not work. Let me show you here how you will get the last row, right? Otherwise, what you can do is control and down arrow goes to the last row. control down arrow takes you to the last row. So let us generate a macro for this. Macro is recording. Then I press the control and down arrow key. Let us check the code. It's single statement selection dot excel down dot select. So we need to replace this, right? Replace it with a variable. Let us say last row and declare here last row dim last row as integer and last row is equal to first take the range of a1 dot select, right? First we'll go to the a1 cell, then we press control and down arrow. This is how we get the last row. So we have selected the sheet first, then we have selected the range, then we here we captured the last row and we pass the same last row to the loop. Let us try this one. Okay. It didn't came. So maybe last row did not work. Let us try here. Last row it is showing as minus 1. Send data is the one. So
Should we take the row count of the selected cell?
I can't hear you. Like your voice is breaking.
Should we be taking the row count of the selected cell, last cell?
Yeah, there are different ways are there. So just I wanted to show you guys that don't depend on these functions,
Yes, yes.
especially with the last row, and we have to use the last row several times in the project. And sometimes it works fine and sometimes it doesn't, especially with the last row. So what else, what other options are available for the last row? Excel VBA last row. One is used range. Let us say another option is rows.count. But for that we need to go through a loop. This is another way. Active sheet dot used range. Let us try this one. Where is that last row? Is here. Active sheet, because we selected this, dot used range. Last row is equal to dot rows dot count. We'll try this one. Now it is showing 8 rows. Send data. So try with this, try this way, and if maybe this may also not work. In that case, you have to write a loop. In the loop, we have to check whether continuously if you are getting the values null, then you can terminate the loop. That is the last way. Null value to a variable that is not a variant data type. Last row minus 1, because it is starting from 1 and our values are starting from 2. That is why we are using minus 1, because we have one row for heading also. It is counting all together as 8, but we want to skip one row, so that is why we are taking only 7 rows. So now you should not have any error here. But you guys should be able to modify this. Keep this macros with you handy when you go to the project, but you should be able to change the location provider depending on the database you are connecting, name of the table, and where the data is in the sheet, in which sheet it is, and what are the field names. These things you should be able to modify. And we already learned how to make this global, right? These things we can make it global, and just we can call the by passing the values we can call or make these variables global.
Irfan,
Yeah,
in our Excel table, just because the ID number was starting from 4th, it automatically pasted over from the 4th row in Access.
in Access.
Like when we are copying there, it's automatically getting copied below our city table. Like 3 rows were already there and then it's getting copied.
Yeah, it's a auto number field, right? ID is a auto number field.
Okay. So if in Excel, like the IDs which we pasted were starting from 1, then it must have overwritten them?
Yes, but usually we should not pass the IDs when we are taking auto number. Just uh,
Okay.
ignore that. Don't use that. Even then, you should able to add the values. Let us see. It should add 7 more rows. Oh, table is open. We need to. It added 7 more rows, and it has taken the ID numbers by itself. We did not send from here, right? We
Yeah, got it.
so any other question? Okay. Now next thing is sending a sheet, bulk sheet to the MS Access. Right? We did right several times from here. Import Excel and selected the Excel file and appended to the table or import into the new table. That we can do from Excel also. You guys want to see it today? You guys have time? Okay. It won't take more than 15 minutes anyway. Somebody saying something? Mhm. It won't take more than 15 minutes, so we should wind up by 11. So send to database. Send data to database. For that, remember you need to give reference to MS Access when you are using it from other applications. And here don't forget to give reference to ADO object 2.8 library. Microsoft ActiveX data objects. Microsoft ActiveX data object 2.8 library. And this one we need to give reference to the Microsoft Access. Microsoft Access 12 object library. Okay, first of all we have given the access. So like we have created a connection and record set here. First of all we need to create a object to the MS Access itself as new access access dot application. Okay, so now this is a access application. Then we may need one more variable for the path, db path as string. Here we'll store the location of the database. Otherwise we'll copy it from and we'll use the same database. Okay, strdb path, same variable. Now access, we have object in access dot open current database, then strdb path. We are asking to open this file, employees.accdb file. Okay. Then we'll use, file is open now, then we'll use do cmd command. We used it several times, right? In MS Access we used do cmd dot run sql, do cmd dot export, so many things we did with do cmd. The same thing we are using here. This time we are transfer the spreadsheet. Transfer the spreadsheet and transfer type. Transfer type will be AC input, should be there. Okay, let us try this way. Transfer type, right, AC input. Then what type of spreadsheet is that? That is a spreadsheet type is equal to, let us see if AC spreadsheet 12. Let us try with XML. One of the options should work, comma. Then we need to specify the table name. Table name. Okay, and what we have in the sheet. Timelines. Let us see, timelines is there. No. Timeline main. But I think this should be in the double quotes. It's not a variable. Then transfer sheet, then table name, then file name, from which Excel file we want to transfer. File name is equal to application dot active workbook dot name. Okay, active workbook, then dot name. Okay, does it has field names? Yes, has F, has field names. True. Then finally give the range. See, that is why I break the things. If you want some of the code in the second line, just add underscore, then you can extend the line. If you want in the next line, just give space and you can go to next line. So here we need to give the range. So we first need a sheet name, then range. What range we want to send? 721. R R721. A1 to R721. Okay, let us try this, then we'll close the database later. Let us see. Once again, do cmd dot transfer spreadsheet. Spelling is correct, but this one transfer type is correct. It's import. Then spreadsheet type. AC spreadsheet type Excel. We can change this later if it doesn't work. Then this is the table name, but this table name is not in MS Access. Let us see if it is if it creates, or we have to create it. Then this is the main thing. This is how you can get the name of the current workbook. Otherwise, you can specify it here in the double quotes. Like this in the double quotes, give the name directly, query underscore timelines main. Has field names? Yeah, first row has the field names. Range A1 to 721. Okay. Let us execute this and see if we are getting any errors. AC import. Name argument already specified. Why? This should work. Transfer type. Double semicolon is equal to is there. AC input transfer type is equal to AC input. Okay. Named argument already specified. Did we? Hmm. Is ccd cmd dot transfer spreadsheet. Then let us put in the next line. Then let us break this so that we can identify where error is actually. Sometimes it shows the error, but error will be somewhere else. Okay, this path is right. Then do cmd transfer spreadsheet. That is right. This is the only thing missing in the MS Access. We'll do one thing. We'll import that first. Then we'll delete the data. It's me. Okay. Then this is not the file. That is the only thing missing here. Into a new table. Okay, timelines. Now we have timelines table, but we'll delete the data. Let us try. Oh my god. Spelling is correct. Transfer. TRANSFER. After
Yes.
transfer spreadsheet, remove the comma and just give add info. Here? After transfer spreadsheet, remove the comma. Oh, right. 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 Thank you, Tasif. Could not find the object. Query timelines main.xlr. Make sure the object exists and that you spell it in the path correctly. Okay, we'll execute from here. Access database. Change the macro. Send data to database. Could not find the object. Uh, Let us take name instead of name. The workbook. Okay, it's
You
working.
can't keep it happen, that's why it was.
Okay, so it has imported all the data into a table. Then let me close this and we'll do it again. Before that, just remove the data, close it. Now execute once again. Okay, it's working now. And it is good always to close it if we are using in any other macros. If we are opening the MS Access at the time, we may have the issue. So it's always a good thing to always close the database, quit, and also release the memory. Any questions? Any concerns? Here what we did in the first thing is we gave a reference to the MS Access library. That means MS Access application. And here we are creating an object of this. After creating the object, we are setting which access database we want to use. So we are opening that access database. After opening, then we are using the built-in function do CMD for transferring the spreadsheet into that MS Access database, and we are passing the arguments like table name and a type of Excel file and a name of the Excel file and whether the Excel file has the field names and what range you want to send data. This is faster than this method. This is slower. If you have million rows, then it may take hours to transfer. This may take minutes to transfer. Any questions? Today I'll send this file and tomorrow I'm expecting MS Access project to be completed and send it to me before the class. Anyone stuck in the MS Access somewhere or have any questions? before winding up this class? So no questions. Okay, then have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Tomorrow we're in class.
Oh yeah,
Same
tomorrow.
time.
Tomorrow same time is okay with you guys, or you want guys to be connected in the evening?
Evening.
It's fine.
Huh? Everyone okay with the same time, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear.
Evening will be good for me. I don't know other people.
So anybody having issue with the evening 7:30, 8? Yeah. Even okay. Two people are okay with the 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Is Nahid, Nasheed, and Husna are okay with the, and Radhika is okay with the tomorrow evening 8?
Nashid bolo na.
Tomorrow evening 8.
Yeah, tomorrow evening good for Nashid and me too.
Okay. And Radhika, Nidhi?
I think morning should have been better.
So morning everyone is okay? 9:30 same time?
Yeah, morning 9:30 same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow 9:30? 9:30 a.m. Okay. And don't forget to send your MS Access project. Okay. Okay. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.